So, it's time to talk about short video games. Thanks for watching the video, and bye. Just kidding! So yeah, obviously one of the big stories this week has been the issue, or supposed issues, with the Order 1886. The big I'd say it's the first big first party title for Sony's PS4 this year. And last weekend, I can't remember the name of the YouTube channel, whatever it is, the video got pulled, but they put up the entire playthrough, and I think in like 16 or 17 parts. And what they did, and they played through it, admittedly on easy, which I don't think many people actually took notice of, but yeah, they played it through on easy, and the game came in at 5.5 hours, which apparently prompted a lot of people to complain at the developers and ultimately cancel their pre-orders, which I would say is good, but also bad. Why do I say that? Well, I like the fact that pre-orders are being cancelled, because in this day and age, I think I've talked about pre-orders before on here. They really are an unnecessary thing, because if you pre-order and the game is absolutely atrocious when the thing comes out, then you really are just you're I don't want to say part of the problem, but you're not helping things, certainly, in that aspect. But the main thing is, I don't know what this is actually addressing, but the fact that one person's playthrough on YouTube, on a mode that quite a lot of people probably wouldn't play, and not fully exploring the world, like basically sort of speedrunning. Apparently somebody's managed to speedrun the thing in about, I'm not sure, somebody's managed to do it in a few hours already. I guess unofficially, but they've put the video up since the embargo lifted, and that's one of the things that I want to talk about as well with this, which really hasn't helped Ready at Dawn and Sony. So yeah, the video came out, 5.5 hours. There was a lot of, a lot of annoyance about it, and most of the reviewers, the developers at Ready at Dawn were basically saying it isn't 5 hours, and they were sick of all the questions. The problem is, of course, with this review embargo that was placed until this Thursday, 24 hours before the game comes out. Well, it's actually, I'm trying to think, it was at 1 PM UK time, so it was sort of 11 hours. Unless, of course, because that would have been midnight for Australia, and they were getting the game as well. So I guess that's what it is. The embargo lifted when the worldwide release started in Australia. And when the reviews came out, they were openly saying, this isn't a 5-hour game. Most were saying, this is about a 7 or 8 hour game, with no replay value. And this is why I think the people that cancelled pre-orders and whatever were right to do. Because it talks about, the video is about the length of video games. Because if you really think about it, we've sort of, I guess, gone soft on games. Or possibly because of money and the price of games now. If you went to the arcade and put your 25 cents, or I don't even know how much the arcades are anywhere near me, because there aren't any near me that have those sort of video games anymore. But let's say 25 cents for something classic like Pac-Man. You get your sort of 5 or 10 minutes worth, and hopefully you're satisfied with that. But you take that aspect and then bring it into the current era of games, 30 years, 40 years on. Somewhere in between the two, because I don't think Pac-Man's like late 70s, I think, but whatever. 30 plus years. Take that, but then put it into 2015. The amount of people that want the value for their $60 is starting to grow, which I think is understandably fair. Quite a few of the reviews so far that have come out, including the Order one, I mean the two that come off the top of my head have been Dying Light and Evolve, is, some, not so much with the Order, but certainly with Dying Light and Evolve, they are saying they are good games. It's just, for the price that it is, it really isn't good enough value for money to legitimize buying it day one. Wait until there's a price drop or some sort of sale, or it's on offer. And I honestly think this is going to be the growing trend, and why you are going to be seeing quite a few games now try and come out in that September-October release. So, or more likely September-October release. So then by the time it gets to 1, Thanksgiving for the US, and 2, Christmas for certainly here in the UK, the games that people will be interested in will have price dropped, and they will be the ones that sell very, very well. Just looking at it on that aspect, Arkham Knight could do very well this Christmas for people that don't pick it up in May. Trying to think if there's anything else. Possibly Witcher 3 has the opportunity to do that. When I see games, the whole aspect to me, certainly at this minute, is, am I getting my money's worth? Now with Order 1886, it's a 7-8 hour playthrough with no real encouragement for replayability from what the reviews are saying. And I'd say an 8-hour game and then you're done isn't worth a price tag of $60. Perhaps when it's cheaper, yes. From what I've seen of the game, it is, it seems to be a trend with the games that have come out so far. Story is a bit lacking and strange. But with the graphics and the voice talents that are in it, from what I've seen of live streams of the thing, because I'm basically I'm doing this on the day of release of the Order, which is Friday. It's really a case that, from what I've seen, it's a pretty entertaining game, and there will be people that enjoy it. And from what I've seen as well, there's clearly a hint that a sequel will be coming in the works down the line. But it really didn't help for the publicity of the thing that, one, the game went gold, as in it's now being sent out to the disc printers to actually be burned onto disc and get ready to be shipped on, I think, January the 15th. So it's been a full month since the game has been done and nobody's working on it. Partially, possibly day one patches, but I don't think it has one, or if it does, it's only small, like 13 megabytes. Can't remember. But there's not a huge amount done there, but yeah, it's out there for a month, and then copies start coming a week early because they need to give them to the reviewers and the people that get them in enough time so that they can give a fair opinion of the thing. And the actual honesty is, I think that sort of shot them in the foot, because all week it's been negative publicity. And even on the streams I've been watching, people, when they were playing through, were kept being asked in Twitch chats, "Oh, why are you playing this game? It's only 5.5 hours long." When the person's playthrough that I saw was like 7 or 8. So it's really just, it's that sort of aspect. It's like, oh, I'm watching it, I've heard this, so it must be correct. I know that quite a few of the streamers were saying play it for yourself, but for the price that it is, as I say, I'd wait. But this brings into aspect the whole idea of value for money, because I as I said at the start, Pac-Man, you only play for a few minutes for your 25 cents, but most people felt that they got their money's worth when they bought it brand new. I mean, I'm just looking through some of the, can't be bothered with the PC games. I'll just go with the console stuff, because we're sort of going, obviously with PS4, it's technically a console, even though obviously it isn't. I really, as I've previously said in the video, I really enjoyed Bug's Life. It's only about 12 levels, and there isn't that much of a replay ability factor unless you count the hidden levels. But other than that, there was not that much. Nobody was really complaining about that back in 1997, 98, when the thing came out. It shows how tastes have changed, mainly due to the fact that obviously multiplayer has become so prevalent in stuff. So when there's criticism for the Battlefield or Call of Duty games to have a campaign mode that only lasts 4 hours, that's mainly because not many people care about the campaign mode. As I've said before, some people do not even play the campaign mode when they get their new edition of Battlefield or Medal of Honor, if that franchise ever comes back, or Call of Duty. They just go to the multiplayer and don't give a damn about anything but the single player. Which makes Kevin Spacey sad, I guess. But regardless, just looking through some of the games are pretty short that I have. I wouldn't say Driver is entirely short. I enjoy that one. Driver 2 was over 2 discs. I don't know how long. I can't remember how long that was when I played it through. And then obviously you get your big RPGs like Final Fantasy VII, which is off over multiple discs at the time, but obviously cost the same price as something like, I'm trying to think, that would have been 97, so would it have been FIFA 97 or 98 that would have come out at that time for the same price? It's just that case. Ridge Racer, the original game, when it came out at console's launch, was very well received. And that's sort of why the Ridge Racer franchise really sort of dropped off, because Ridge Racer's good in the arcades. This is a fun little thing to have, but imagine a game where you only basically race on 4 tracks, and then the game is technically over. I mean, you can unlock cars with it and everything, so it does have some sort of replay value. But people didn't really complain then, probably because it was a console launch and everything, and they were sort of being, I don't know, sympathetic. Well, I wouldn't say possibly sympathetic. I don't know. It was certainly looking at it in a different way, and yeah, I understand the criticisms people have, but people have got to realise, at least people of my age, that complaining about short games isn't really fair, considering most of the time you were playing relatively short games. I mean, Tekken, the original Tekken, is, in retrospect, a pretty short game. Even if you compare it to the last Mortal Kombat game, Mortal Kombat 9, that had a story mode which had multiple fighters. You didn't just have 9 or 8 fights like you did in the original Mortal Kombat, or even, you know, Tekken back in the day. It's refreshing to see that people like to see they're getting their money's worth, but you need to be, I would say, somewhat sympathetic to the creators' ideas as well. I mean, God of War could, if you play it right, could be played through in a few hours. I mean, if you, I wouldn't say speedrun it, but if you went through on easy mode, I'm pretty sure you'd be able to do that in 5.5 hours. Did people complain about the length of the story with that? No. So why should it be the same for the Order 1886? What has changed in 10 years? I wouldn't say that much. Obviously, apart from DLC or whatever. But that's another matter entirely, which I've already talked about. It's really, and I guess the irony here is I'm talking about game lengths and this video is going on very long. Too bad. It's happening. It really is a thing, you know, even looking at some of my Game Boy games, which I just so happen to have here. WWF Betrayal is a short game, and I wouldn't recommend it. It's not, you know, for people that bought that new, full price, however much it would have been, $40, $50, I feel bad for them. But then you get something like, I don't know, either Warrior Land 2 or Warrior Land 3. You know, there's a bit of replay value there and everything. Tetris DX, you know, it's Tetris, it's going to have an appeal. Things like that. And then even Pokemon. I mean, that is a real aspect, and something I'm actually quickly going to check. Because, obviously, at the minute, and I've only just remembered this, good old Twitch Plays Pokemon, I think, is still going on. So, I'm just having a quick look, because that isn't a long game. But, I mean, it isn't a long game if you do it right. But through the whole Twitch Plays Pokemon system, the game has been going on for, give or take, 8 days, as of this recording. And they've only done 4 badges. I mean, most people would, I mean, okay, that's an experiment, but it's still the whole aspect of those people that know how to play and know everything can get through that game in less than a day, easy. But through the whole aspect of the Twitch Plays Pokemon stuff, it really is showing that even though it can be frustrating at times, because obviously you see what people are doing, it is somewhat of annoying. An annoyance. You know, that's why I can't really watch the stream, because it gets to a point, and I'm basically going, I can't. Not that I can't take it anymore. Isn't the real sort of thing, but it's sort of frustrating that people aren't working together in the game. I mean, half the time when I actually look at it, I think there's basically trolls trying to exit the game and cause the whole thing to go completely doolally, which is a bit annoying, I would say. and you know that plays into the whole troll aspect of whatever. But yeah, I guess the moral of the story is don't pre-order, because then if the game is good, most shops will probably have stock of the thing, unless it's an amiibo. But then again, that isn't a game, that's a little figurine NFC thing. But yeah, there is no real need to pre-order. There is stock aplenty. I would have thought if they had that mass shortages, there'd be issues. Just wait to see what people say about it. Those people that do jump in and take the bite and then get burned, then you'll be pleased that you didn't jump in. Or, you know, you wait to see what the reviews say, and if the reviews say it's good, then you can pick it up, whether it be at full price or at reduced price. It's your call, but I would advise going the other way. The fact that I need to have a quick look at this. Good old Amazon, GTA 5, which obviously with its multiplayer and everything has a ton of replayability. So you can buy the game new of Amazon UK on PS4 for $39.85. If you want to get the game second hand from one of the chains over here in the UK, which isn't a gaming store, it's just a second-hand shop. I don't want to name check them in case they get angry at me, because, you know, they could. I don't know. The game will cost you £48. So yeah, the game is worth more second-hand if you wanted to buy it than it would if you wanted to buy it new. And there is the factor. Replayability, clearly, in the evolution of the industry over the last 30 plus years, replayability is the big thing. Whether it be through multiplayer or whether it just be the fact that you can have new game pluses or whatever with single player, like with the Batman Arkham games. Clearly, people like seeing things again. So in honor of that, next week I'll be putting up this video again. Probably not though.